Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Your second semi-final review. Yesterday I gave you my review for the first semi-final, Senegal versus Burkina Faso, or the other way around because technically it was Burkina Faso versus Senegal. And today, Cameroon versus Egypt, the heavyweight clash of these semi-finals. And I have to say, not as many goals as we thought there would be. I thought there was going to be a few goals in this. If I had to predict, I would have thought it would have finished maybe a 2-1, a 3-2, a 3-1, somewhere there goals. But this was a very, very tight affair from the get-go. But we have to say, congratulations to Egypt. Mabrok, Masa. You guys, you deserve it. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. And commiserations to the hosts. Cameroon is crazy. I was predicting Cameroon were going to go all the way. I just thought, yeah, they've got everything going in their favour. They are going to go all the way here. No one's stopping them, especially with the home advantage and the fans. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. And even for the first 45 minutes, I had it in my head like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Cameroon are going to get this. They're going to get this. And then it changed. So, look, one thing we can learn from this Africa Cup of Nations is that my predictions have been all wrong. I think many people's predictions have been wrong. And I go back to what I said a few videos ago. Anything can happen in African football. So, let's get into this. Cameroon, Egypt. What started off as a clear game plan. A clear game plan was Cameroon were going to take the initiative, they're going to have the control, and Egypt were going to play on the counter-attack, especially with Mohamed Salah, who was going to be the guy to execute the counter-attack. Whenever they needed to do one, he was there ready to go. That was clearly going to be the plan. Did that work? Yes. Even though, yes, the game finished 0-0, but in the long run, did it work? I felt like it did, yes, because once we got to extra time, you could see Cameroon were getting tired. Egypt still had a bit of energy left in the tank, and you could see they were starting to outpower them in terms of physicality, sprinting, running, accelerations, just the tiredness, the fatigue. Egypt had it much better than Cameroon. That was all because of the work done during the 90 minutes. It's as simple as that. Egypt were happy to sit back, defend, frustrate, and then try and get the opportunities. And they did. They did a couple of times, and they shouldn't have missed. They really shouldn't have missed. Cameroon in the first half had a few opportunities, especially, as I've said, they had the control of the game. They were the ones creating the chances. There was nothing really clear-cut. Something like, oh, what a miss. How did he miss that? Cameroon didn't really have that. They had opportunities, had loads of half chances getting into the box. Aboubakar wasn't as potent as I thought he was going to be. Neither was Akambi. But what I do want to say about Aboubakar, his mind games before the game didn't work. It didn't work. I read what he said before the game. I don't know what planet Aboubakar's on, but I know he doesn't believe what he said. I know he doesn't. No, surely. You know, he was saying before the game that Mohamed Salah isn't a top player like everyone thinks he is. He says he's a good player. He scores loads of goals, but he doesn't create much in the game. And everyone and their mother reacted like, what sport do you watch? You sure? And to be honest, look, from one aspect, I completely disagree with what he said. But the other aspect, I can't understand why he said it. Because it's something completely controversial. And that can play with your head, especially before a semi-final. That could destabilize your opponent. Now, what I'm here to say is that it didn't work. It was clearly a mind game. It didn't work. Mohamed Salah looked very composed, has a lot of experience. He plays here in the Premier League. He plays for Liverpool. He's won the league title. He's done all sorts. He's won a Champions League. He doesn't need more in order to improve as a professional. He's got it all here. And especially coming from this country and this league, you are taught, even within your club, you're trained by the club in order to make sure that you know how to operate at the highest level, on the pitch, off the pitch, in terms of pressure, in terms of the media, how to talk. You're trained. So, yeah, mind games like that were never going to work. But, yeah, I didn't think Aboubakar, it can be some of the key men for Cameroon were as striking as I thought they were going to be. Not like they were in the semi-final and before that. But as a group, as a collective, Cameroon had more of the ball. Cameroon had more of the control. They just really couldn't do much with it. As I said, Egypt were very, I wouldn't say too defensive, but they were fairly, contained. They were contained. They were trying to just keep Cameroon at bay and try and frustrate them and conserve the energy. Second half comes, and you start to see Egypt start to come out bit by bit. Bit by bit, they start to launch that attack. And it comes as a progress. But what was crazy is towards the end of that second half, Carlos Queiroz, the manager of Egypt, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson's ex-number 2 at Manchester United, if you guys remember, from back in the day, he got sent off. Now, he got booked for dissent, apparently, 2 minutes before, 1 minute before, actually. And then after that, when there was a little collision between Sobhi and the Cameroon player, all of a sudden, the ref comes over to Carlos Queiroz, second yellow, red, see you later, you're off. I personally, now, I don't know what has been said. No one knows what's been said. But unless you're an idiot, right, you don't say something stupid in a semi-final, knowing you're on a yellow card and you're the manager of a team that could be reaching the final. I mean, sure, you're not ridiculous. You need help. If that's what you've done, you need help. I refuse to think someone like Carlos Queiroz is someone who's going to say something completely outrageous to get himself booked for a second time. So I found it very weird when the ref just came over straight away, yellow card, red, see you later, you're sent off. I'm like, why? Is it because of his actions and his gestures and how loud he is? Because I'm sorry, if that is why managers are getting booked, that's ridiculous. And I've seen it in other parts where I've seen managers get booked just because they're animated. Like, no, this is football. There's emotion. Especially in a competition like this. At a stage like this, semi-final, you're about to reach a final, everything's at stake. You don't know if you're going to be making a final like that again, or a semi-final like that again. You're going to be emotional. Football is emotional. So I hope the referee has made a good decision there and he's heard something outrageous. That's where I would really question Carlos Queiroz and how mental he is. But I refuse to think he's mental like that. I don't think he is. So, yeah, we have to be careful about just dishing yellow and reds to managers because they are animated on the touchline. You can be as animated as you want. And if anything, I think it's better. I think it adds to the game. I think it adds emotion. It shows that passion. It shows that, you want to win. So, we're not robots, we can't, keep figuring out those little details and trying to eliminate them. Like, no, that's not how it works. But if the referee made a good decision, cool. If he didn't, he's had an absolute blunder there. But it went into the end of the game. Egypt was starting to come into it. They had a chance with Mohamed Salah. Threw ball straight into Mohamed Salah. Could have gone round the goalkeeper. He tried to go around the goalkeeper. But Andre Onana, great goalkeeper, by the way, manages to get his leg out, stop Mohamed Salah in his tracks, and it goes into extra time. And extra time, this is where it switched. For me, I thought Cameroon would eventually get a winner. They didn't in 90 minutes. But when it went to extra time, you could see Cameroon, that used to be the team that were controlling the game, switched. Egypt took control of that extra time. It was Egypt that were more threatening. It was Egypt that had the energy to start going around in terms of overlapping, in terms of going around the flanks, being able to penetrate down the middle. Move the ball quickly and for each other. Yeah, well, some tired legs, of course, that's normal. 120 minutes in the semi-final of an African tournament is not easy. This is what I said at the beginning of this whole thing. When I did my first video on the AFCON, I said it's a very physical tournament. Players that make it to the end are going to be dead. Yeah, they're going to be dead. This is why it's such a hard tournament to win, because your legs will fall off. Especially with the climate that's there and the heat on top of that. It's not easy. Goes into extra time. Egypt take the control. You can start seeing they're the ones that are making more of the advancements. The second the assistant manager, Gomar, he got booked for I think dissent as well. So he's going to be missing the final. And it's basically the third assistant coach that was doing most of the work for Egypt in extra time. But still, Egypt, they kept their heads. They were disciplined. They stuck to the plan. They executed it. They were unlucky to score a couple of times, especially that chance on the right-hand side where the Cameroon defender slips. He comes into the box. He tries to cut in, had an opportunity to pass to Mohamed Salah. Didn't. He waited, tries to send it into the pack. It just goes through everyone, and no one gets a foot on it. And Egypt don't score, but they were looking like the team that were going to score. And it goes to penalties. Now, penalties is where, personally, look, I hate penalties.
as a neutral, I love to watch penalties. But if it's my team involved, I hate penalties. I hate it so much, because you feel like if you don't win, you're robbed. And if you win, you feel like you've won the lottery. But it's too much emotion to deal with. And seeing these two teams going into it, I'm just like, one of you are going to be very, very unhappy. And it turns out to be Cameroon. They did not help themselves at all with those penalties. Very, very, very bad penalties from Cameroon, might I add. I thought it was pretty much level going into it because the Egyptian goalkeeper is a fantastic goalkeeper. Let's have it right. I do want to give a little shout out, actually. Obviously, there's Andre Onana of Cameroon. We know how good he is. But the Egyptian goalkeeper, absolutely fantastic. And he's not the first choice goalkeeper, might I add. He's the second choice goalkeeper. But Egypt have a history of good goalkeepers. Even Al Hadari, their old goalkeeper, is now their goalkeeper coach for the Egyptian national team, and he was there on the bench, so he saw everything go down. He was a great goalkeeper in his time. They have a good history with goalkeepers. So I knew that it was going to be Cameroon, good goalkeeper. Egypt, good goalkeeper. Egypt, good penalty takers, especially with Mohamed Salah, but, Cameroon, are they going to have it? They didn't. Unfortunately, very bad penalties from Mukudi, from Siliki, and Injay. And Zizo, Abdulmomen, and Lachine getting the penalties for Egypt. And then obviously, not even the goalkeeper making a save. It was just a miss from Injay, literally hitting it wide, very wide. 3 penalties missed on the trot. It's unlucky. But Cameroon are out. The hosts are out of the Africa Cup of Nations. The final will be Jurgen Klopp's worst nightmare. Because you bet Jurgen Klopp has been supporting everyone besides Senegal and Egypt this entire tournament, and now he has to end this tournament with Senegal versus Egypt. His 2 main men playing the final, playing the last game, going all the way, and Liverpool missing them out. Now, it's not going to damage Liverpool too much, because obviously there's FA Cup weekend coming up, but no Premier League. So they should be back for the Premier League if they're not rested. They might get rested. So we'll see what happens in the final. Senegal versus Cameroon. May the best win. Sadio Mane versus Mohamed Salah. That's going to be a very interesting clash. The third place will be played. So be sure to catch that one. Obviously, Cameroon versus Burkina Faso. We'll see who finishes third. Obviously, there's not going to be much attention on that game because it's third place. But we'll see who does it. And the final, Senegal versus Egypt. We'll see who does it there. Personally, I think I want Senegal to win it. It's only right. Here's a fun fact. Senegal have never won the Africa Cup of Nations. They finished second twice, and one of theirs was in 2019. The other time, I think, was 2002, if I'm not mistaken, where Cissé, the manager of Senegal, was the captain. They've never won it. Not once. And that shocked me. I thought they'd won it in the past. They need to win it. They deserve it, man. They deserve it. As I said yesterday, in terms of their structure, their manager, the team that they have, the consistency, everything about them is fantastic. Now, if Egypt do it, they deserve it too. Fantastic. But that would be Egypt's 8th. If they do win it, they'd get number 8. Right? Let Senegal have one. We'll see. Anyway, may the best team win. I'm looking forward to this final. And you be sure to catch the review of that final here on Younes Talks Football. I'll do a review obviously for the third place game, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. That will be the penultimate the penultimate video on the AFCON on this channel, and then the last one will be the final. So I will see all of you tomorrow for new bits of content. Chelsea versus Plymouth match preview, obviously FA Cup weekend, and then we move on from there, and the AFCON third place and the final on Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Sunday. Anyway, I'll see all of you tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you have enjoyed this, and I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new video. Have a good one, people. See you in a bit. Take care and peace.